Hey, we are back. It is Thursday. Pepe Fest has just started today. Adam, how are you feeling this morning?
Lots underway. I was like, should we pull, because they're doing like the Google Meet like during our show. I was like, should we just pull in the Google Meet and just pull it onto the show? I was thinking about that.
What Google Meet? What Google Meet?
Oh, you didn't see they're having like a live meeting in like a half hour. I think Joe's running like a little thing on Google Meet. And yeah, I put it in the comments down below if anybody wants to check it out.
Dude, yeah, literally our entire listener base is either Amsterdam or Paris this week. It feels like a ghost town.
Well, you saw like the videos from Pepe Fest. I mean, it's green in that studio or whatever in that little art studio, man. It is like green fest in there, man. It's like woof. You see that green color? It's a little bit overwhelming, but looks like fun, man, for sure. I saw mullets were happening earlier today, so it looks like fun.
Pepe cuts. It's one of the fun components of the Pepe's community is that all these cards have some sort of unique story about it. I think that's what makes it beautiful, or some sort of like innovative way to use a card. So what Bunzi told me with the Pepe cuts is he's going to mint a fake rare, at least from my understanding. And then if you got the cut, you get the fake rare for free.
Nice.
Right. So like
that count for somebody like me where there's not much cutting to be done.
Yeah, it's exciting, man. I got a picture of our sponsorship over there, which we'll go into a little bit. So if you guys stay on, there's going to be some alpha dropping here probably in the next 30 minutes. You could be the first to listen, or those who are listening. Nice. Yeah, we got a lot of good and fun news to begin. And one of the beginnings is Pepe's. I don't know if you guys saw, but we started migrating some of the rare Pepe's last night. The collection currently sits at 1,998 total items, 823 unique items. We're almost already at half of the total vaulted unique items. Rare Pepe's are 1,774 unique cards. We're sitting at 823 at 49% unique ownership.
Amazing.
And 973 owners. Adam, how many owners do you think we end up with by the end of this migration?
Oh my God, dude. I have no idea. The ownership count, what are we at now? Almost 1,000 right now?
Amazing. 973. We have 16,000 vaults still to go.
Wow. 2,800. That's my get. I don't know, something like that. What do you?
I'm shooting for like 7,000.
Oh boy.
If we're sitting at 4, I was watching this last night as Shannon was doing some of this migrations. We started it was at 42% unique ownership, and then as the migrations were going, unique ownership was increasing. So it shows me that a lot of people just own one or two.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I would have thought I would have gone the complete opposite way.
Yeah. So if we're going to end up with almost 18,000 at the end of this migration, right, and 50% unique ownership, that'd be like 9,000 people. But
it's incredible, man.
To say the least, Pepe Fest is here, and fake rares are ongoing. It's a very it's a very exciting time. There are a few metadata issues with some of the cards, but that's, I think, has to do with X-Chain, where we have to manually kind of update this. Is interesting. I saw this posted yesterday. I honestly have no idea who the NFT magazine is, but apparently they did a whole entire feature on Pepe Fest this week. Maybe just because it's called NFT magazine, it's supposed to be important. But
does anybody even put out magazines anymore? Like, when was the last time? I mean, even in the airport, I don't pick up a magazine. Does anybody in the audience ever pick up a magazine? Like, what would you even do with it?
Yeah, I can't tell you the last time I read a magazine, although I've been published personally in a few magazines, like Las Vegas ones, and I have them in the back. That's just
that's thrilling, right?
It's like that's the piece. So it's like you don't ever open it.
Yeah. No, being in a magazine, or that's always interesting and fun. But yeah, actually buying a magazine, crazy.
It looks like the bidding is now underway for all of the cards and physical pieces at Pepe Fest through Scarcity, who's been a partner with the Pepe community for quite some time. I think it goes back to like 2019. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Like a few action figures. There's some Lego Pepes. There's some artistic pieces, some actual like very beautiful like hand painted Pepes. It's such a weird world to be in at times.
I saw the price guide kicking around Twitter. That was a little bit up. Yeah, the price guide was going around. Yeah, it's just fun Pepe times, man.
Like this, I like this one. So this is Mike 3's he's a popular memer. This is like an actual physically hand painted version of his fake rare card that he has existing. So that one's pretty cool. Oh, this is Bunzies right here. This is an actual physical piece. Adam, did you see the video of the Pepe cuts of Bunzies?
I've seen a bunch of his posts, and I saw him making like the heads, right? So, but I haven't seen. I didn't know this was like a standalone thing that he was selling, standalone piece.
So here's the video. The funniest part is he got stopped by TSA taking it through TSA.
Oh yeah, what happened there?
Look, see, here's the video.
If you guys are watching on the live, Jake's sharing the video of it. That's awesome.
It looks like, so it's like when you go to a barber shop, it has that red and white kind of cone that's cycling. He did that with Pepe and tried to take it through the airport, and it honestly looks like a pipe bomb. So it's probably what exactly happened. Dogfather, what's going on?
Yeah, what's good, guys? Yeah, that looks really amazing. So yeah, I'm going to Amsterdam next week, so I'm also super excited for this IRL action. Already bought my wizard costume and a few things. So and now I'm thinking about because people are discussing in the chats like how to bring the costume to Amsterdam. I'm like, would that be too much wearing that in the airport and on the plane? I mean, would they kick you out, or would that be okay? Or does it depend on the length of the wizard stick? So what do you think?
Yeah, dude, I went to the wizard party when I was at NFT NYC, and it was a fucking blast. And there was probably maybe 50% of the people dressed up. I would go through TSA in the full wizard outfit, tell them that this is gonna be a magical ride.
I mean, it's Halloween season, right? It's around the corner. I think that's better than in summer. I think that would look really weird, but I think now, autumn, Halloween, that should work. I hope so.
Oh, yeah. The cool thing I like about this Pepe Fest is that it's free. I think this is a model that a lot of conferences should move to.
Yeah,
I've been one of my buddies that's out here in Vegas. He runs the Web3 Expo. Is at the Win. And so we've been discussing the plan to do a whole free kind of conference, because the issue with the conference is that no one wants to pay $700 to go inside NFT NYC, but I'll sure as hell pay, $400 to go down there, and then another, $800 on rooms to go to all the parties. So you might as well make it free so that people actually go inside, and you can do things like token gating rooms, right? But most of these conferences are generally paid for by the foundations of these different blockchains anyways.
Yep.
So I like that Pepe has moved to this model because realistically, people are just coming for the parties.
Yeah, I mean, you think about like NFT NYC is the perfect example. It just feels like a money grab, right? And half the people who go don't even buy a ticket. Right? Maybe more than half. And then it's like none, especially in like New York City or Paris, you can't attract any local people because nobody's going to pay the $500 or whatever it is to get in. So you lose any sort of attraction of local people. Right. So yeah, I'm with you 1,000,000%, man. Just have it funded by the sponsors of it.
Yeah, so the few foundations, like it's like the actual blockchain foundations who have literally hundreds of millions of dollars, like consent, like the Ethereum Foundation or Avalanche Foundation, they just want to put their name there. And what I've learned, because I've been helping kind of be this middleman between this conference and kind of the Vegas government, local government, and these foundations, they're paying because they want to be connected to like the local officials so that they can get tax breaks or just some sort of protection, right? So you think about it, if you're like the Avalanche Foundation and you pay $1 million for this Vegas conference, but then it guarantees you a seat at the table with, the local regulators, like that is well worth it, right? And then the like eventual kind of court fines that they'll have to get down. And so kind of learning the back end of that. I've learned a lot about how these conferences actually operate. There's so many different dynamics to it, but ultimately they should be free because no one's going to pay $700. That's honestly why I apply for NFT NYC, even though I like talking, but there's no way you're going to see me talking. Adam, have you applied to NFT NYC this year? Are you going to be?
We were debating it, and I'm like, do I want to go, man? I just, it feels like, you know, NFT NYC is like, of all of them that I've been to, it's like the least. It's like the parties and everything are really the only thing about NFT NYC. Like the conference itself is just, it's like trash. You know what I mean? That's the vibe I get from NYC. It's I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of, now that I've been to several in different locations, it's like the weakest one, in my opinion. Even like that one we went to in Florida, whatever that one was, like, you know, where I met you the first time.
NFT NYC, yeah.
In
NFT Miami.
You know, that one was even like just more vibey, smaller. You get to meet people, you know, and NYC is just like, rah.
Chris and I went to NFT Miami this year, and it was horrible.
Ghost town, right? It was like literally nobody there.
It was a ghost town. Chris, what did you think of it when we went earlier this year?
Yo,
what's good?
Oh man, these conferences, yeah, they're definitely a bit of a handful. The whole thing is, when you throw these major events, you kind of want to attract some type of new, you know, participants when interested in the industry.
Yeah.
And so charging like $700 is never going to make that happen. So it's just always a mess. Definitely need to get those ticket prices down and kind of, you know, expand the industry a bit. But NFT Miami, I think Jake and I were like 2 of 10 people there. So
you were like the only ones.
Dude,
Jake's giving the speech to you.
Anthony Pompliano was there, and there was like 10 people there, and I was like,
That's
this is
crazy.
not. There was like, yeah, usually those things are packed for people like that.
Because when we were there, they had like, you know, some big name. They had like Grant Cardone spoke in the big room. You remember?
They didn't even have the big room open this year. It was just like outside stuff. Everyone's speaking into it. So
just the historical NFT stage this year, just that tiny stage.
Oh, buddy, Dogfather. I hope we're not dissuading you or persuading you to not go to Amsterdam because everyone is down so bad.
No, I think Amsterdam would be cool because, I mean, this is like hardcore community. They have fun. Just wanted to say, I mean, most people go to NYC New York as a speaker because the VIP dinner is so cool. Heard from Theo that it's really spectacular. I think he even made a cut about that because he was so kind of like honored to be there. So just kidding. No, I think the smaller events are cooler because it's like a niche. It's a hardcore community. This is why the Pepe Fest or Inscribing Amsterdam is way more fun than a big conference that's like charging and you know, where the community is not really behind it.
Totally. Yeah, it seems like this year the conferences or all the pop-up conferences are not in the United States. They have all been in Europe, for at least from what I've heard. So we'll see where that's going. Adam, I want to start off with the interesting conversation. I don't know if you've been following Casey recently, the creator of Ordinal Theory, but he's proposed some new dynamics to his new runestone. Have you gone through this yet? Because this man said he was going to build a fucking shitcoin casino for the Bitcoin community, and I'm going to be honest, this is exactly what he's doing.
It's literally a slot machine. No, tell me about it, man.
For what this man lacks in leadership, he's definitely making up for in creativity. Like, it is insane. I need to DM this guy so I could talk to him. Like, Casey, if you're listening to this on your alt, please let's talk. So I put this tweet out yesterday. I said what this runestone thing's forming to, it's like a combination of Mastercoin, Counterparty, and Ordinal Theory. So this is right here what I've pulled up on the screen. There's 2 tweets that he put out. He said, here's an alternative schedule which unlocks 1 bit every difficulty adjustment, or approximately every 2 weeks. Since runes are 128 bits, this would unlock all runes over the course of 5 years. So this, and what you see here is just like, it's like a string of letters
Okay.
And so these are going to be the ticker names of the runestone fungible currencies. You're not going to get a unique name. You get a string of numbers and letters. And so it starts with this like huge 8-bit name that has, I don't know, what is this? Maybe like 40 characters.
Yep.
In weeks in the first week. And then the last week is when you get all the Grail ones that are single letters.
Gotcha.
Right. So if you want the runestone ticker A, you're gonna have to wait till week 256. And so
Very
it goes
interesting. Yeah.
It goes in reverse order. Leonidas had the greatest comment of this. It says bullish on BC, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K. I was dying when I read that. I was like,
it is hilarious.
Casey is like very resistant to unique tickers. And there was another comment here who's the creator of where was it? Maybe it might be in the other comment. So here, let me go back. So he adds he had some additional context to it above this retweet. And he says, and finally, here's a schedule which requires burning Bitcoin by sending it to an op return when you mint a rune, depending on the length of the rune. 1 character is 100 Bitcoin, down to 1 sat for 11 characters, and everything 12 characters or longer is free. So this is where
Bitcoin. Come on, man.
For A, like I said, he likes if he's built. He said he was going to build everyone a shitcoin casino. That's exactly what he's doing, right? It is quite creative, right? So he's taking the burned Bitcoin and getting a fungible token. That's exactly what Counterparty is, right? You burned Bitcoin to get Counterparty or XCP, which then you use to mint your ticker. Mastercoin, he's kind of borrowing from the UTXO model, and he actually said this in an interview. That's where he was inspired from. And then he's using kind of properties of ordinal theory to index all of this, and also kind of this like sat tracking model, which also could resemble colored coins as well. So he's definitely taking all of these different properties and melting them and blending them together with unique Casey twist. I'm quite impressed by what he's doing. Again, the leadership kind of standpoint, I don't really agree with. I think the fact that you're just burning the entire community that built up your entire protocol and doing this, and then saying he wanted to merge Runestone into ordinal theory, I just think it's such a big slap in the face to your community. Yep. But the product that he's building, dude, I'm quite impressed. This thing, I think, is going to have quite a lot of interest.
Well, wait, why I see there, why are the ones that obviously have like huge numbers, why are they going to be free, basically? Why don't they have any fee cost at all? You know what I'm saying?
Because it's going to be in the beginning, right? So you see this like little graph.
Yeah, so I see that. So the ones way up top, like you'll be able to get them for free for the next year or two, because the number's so huge or whatever it'll be, basically. I actually like that idea. I was kind of kicking around this idea for, any token really that's not tied to some utility or something. There is this like inherent unfairness about, the early adopters, right? Get all the rewards, right? They're able to claim all the good names and stuff like that. So this is an interesting way that would allow the community to build over time. And then when you get to the more interesting names and stuff, in theory, a wider swath of people are interested, right? So it's a fairer kind of launch or distribution.
There was a really good comment that somebody said, or that responded to this, and they said, let me see if I could find it, because Casey actually did respond to it somewhere in here. But basically, it's this idea. Somebody commented on it and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't help but laugh my ass off at everyone getting mad at you, Casey, at grappling with the decentralized namespace bootstrapping problem," which is something we've discussed quite often, which was this thing that, right, Namecoin has tried to solve. You've had Ether ID, you have ENS. This is Counterparty, right? The issue with Counterparty was everyone gobbled up all the names within the first week of all the unique names. So here he's trying to solve it, right? If you don't want to do an expiration, because you can't have an expiration model on Bitcoin, at least in its current state, he's gamifying it. And I'm excited to see what he pops. I do think this is I'm be honest, I love BRC20, but it's not looking good in my opinion.
Tell me why you think it's not looking good. Tell me about it.
And then I'll call on Dogfather. Right. So you have think about it like in the terms of when this is finally going to be launched. Think of the headlines. Creator of Ordinal Theory launches new fungible token standard on Bitcoin. Like that is going to be all over CoinDesk. It's going to be all over all the headlines. It's going to be all through Bitcoin. That is just going to grab investor money because people saw what happened with Ordinal Theory.
Yep.
And so they're going to do exactly the same thing here. To me, it just makes a lot of sense. And what he's doing is pretty cool. Again, I don't agree with the leadership standpoint and the things that he's done to burden his community, but from looking at it objectively now, I don't see how this thing doesn't have a lot of interest by the time that he announces when the block height is reached. That's when you can start minting that. It shall be quite interesting. Dogfather, what's your take on this?
Yeah, I have a few ones. So first, the cool thing about Casey is he's not reinventing the wheel, right? So with ENS, we also had a beginning period where the shorter ones, the shorter ENS, were not available. So you see all these old long ones, and then they came out with, okay, now we allow like the 3-character ones or the 3 digits. So it's pretty similar. And it's making a lot of sense to have this smooth start with the long names nobody really wants. And then later you have the shorter ones, like typical tickers are like 3 characters or digits. That's what people want. I'm not even sure that anyone wants to pay such a premium for a 1-digit or 1-character one. But let's see. We don't have that, right? I mean, not on the stock market, not anywhere else where we have the 1 digits. So we will see whether people pay 100 BTC. I guess not. So, but 0.1 BTC for a 3-character or 3 digits looks reasonable. I mean, I just checked out the biggest minters and scribers with the Sats BRC20. I mean, they paid like 8 BTC, I mean, really lots of money. So there will be a demand for that. But you have to bear in mind that the cool this will be in like 3, 4, or 5 years, according to this proposal. So we talk about a long time into the future. So that's the cool part. So for BRC20, they can really establish themselves. And once the cool names come out in 3 years, who knows what's going on then? I mean, that's so far in the future.
Hey, the way that you could see him thinking about this is as the project matures, that's when the better names come in to prevent the squatters. But it will be interesting to see how people build their project with a ticker name that's like 30 characters long.
How would that work? Does it work like you would basically mint and choose the one you want, or it's not a random kind of lottery?
No, you can choose, but
I could get A all the way down, right?
And you have to pay for it, yeah. And I could see people starting this immediately, building a project, and then maybe 2-3 years down the road, they acquire a ticker and then migrate their assets over. There's going to be a lot of game theory that's going to be wrapped up in this, to say the least. But if you go through his GitHub, they're not anywhere close to even being done. There's literally like 10 different requests and ideas that they're trying to tackle here for adoption. But he's putting out quite a proposal, man. I would consider dabbling with it. I'll go mint. If I could go get A, B, C, D, E, F, G in alphanumerical order, I'm game. I'll play the game.
Dude, I gotta find that. I gotta retweet that Leo tweet, man. Bullish on XYZ.
It's so perfect. Yeah. So I guess it is to be determined to see what happens at the end of the day here, but it'll be quite interesting. And kind of moving past that, but still in the marketplace and kind of ecosystem, I found this kind of interesting. Magic Eden announced that they're creating a VIP cross-chain digital collectible shopping experience. What the hell does this even mean? It means that they're basically just creating an OTC desk. Magic Eden, they have a marketplace for 4 different blockchains so far, right? This is right up our alley, Adam, with Emblem Vault. They have Ordinals, Ethereum, Solana, and Polygon. I think Ordinals and Solana are really the only ones that actually get any traction. So they said, hey, we have marketplace on 2 EVM chains, 2 non-EVM chains. Unless we're using Emblem Vault, there's no way for us to really connect everything. So they're just going to create their own OTC desk for their higher end clients. This is very common in the high art ecosystem and kind of Sotheby's and Christie's, is that generally when high value assets are moving, there's no paper trail. It's generally done behind closed doors. People respect some privacy, etc. We've talked about this kind of product for Emblem for quite some time. We also saw that, I think it was Bitcoin Magazine launched an ordinals version of this, and from what I hear, it's got pretty much zero traction. Adam, what's your take on OTC desks in the cross-chain digital collectible space?
Well, I think it's those are completely contingent on connections, and if you don't have the connections and no buyers, you're not going to get any traction. So whether or not they're able to get traction is going to be dependent on if they're deeply connected with people who are buying high-end NFTs, right? And, you know, my gut says they're probably not. You know, they're busy building their marketplace, you know, and good on them. You know, just like Bitcoin Magazine, they offer it, but do they know, you know, buyers who are throwing down 100 ETH for ordinals or whatever? Like, probably not, right? And so I think it's a different skill set. I mean, you and I both have, you know, helped with sales, and we know a lot of people who do, and they're not typically people who are just, you know, they're not people involved in marketplaces and stuff. They're just generally connected people into, you know, the ecosphere and just know whales and stuff like that. So hard thing to pull off, you know, unless they have somebody on their team who is kind of connected in that way. I don't know. I don't know who that is on their team.
Yeah, it should be interesting. The multi-chain, cross-chain experience is very, very important. Chris, you're a big Solana guy. You've dabbled with Magic Eden. What are your thoughts on this? Bullish or bearish?
Yeah, I have to think that it probably started from BTC gods. Charfu and ZK kind of ran an OTC desk that was pretty successful. Seemed like it had a similar setup to what the VIP experience at Magic Eden is going to be. So I have to think it probably stemmed from there. It's kind of one of those things where you can never predict the market, and so you have to get ahead of it. And when the market's blazing, that desk is probably going to be blazing as well. So it's very kind of path dependent on when the market returns. It'll probably blow up pretty decent, and kind of getting your foot in the door and getting your structure and situation ready beforehand. So I think it's a good step. I think it's a step in the right direction. It's going to come down to who has the resources, who has the education, you know, who has the network to kind of pull it off. But definitely like to see it. It's a good step for the industry in general.
Yeah, we've got some competition, Adam, but you know what? We can combat it, because I don't know if you guys saw the pinned post right now. We have our own solution to this, and it is called Emblem Markets. We unveiled today at Pepe Fest. Through our sponsorship, we're releasing a marketplace, a multi-chain marketplace that will be coming out end of Q4. There's a QR code on that image that you should, I would recommend checking out, or you could just check out this domain. I'll give it to you here, emblem.markets. Go to that website right now. You might be put into an allow list, a giveaway, you know, all kinds of different things.
Don't downplay it, bro. This is the alpha, guys. Go now.
This is the alpha, guys. We're
this
doing
is just for people in the space. We're not going to be really pushing it out there. So go get it.
Yeah, maybe Friday or Saturday at the end of it. Ultimately, when you realize that no one actually goes to the festival and to see the sponsorship, to scan the QR code. But yeah, let's kind of like that. We'll dive into it a little bit. We've been talking about building a marketplace since Adam and I joined the team last November, so 11 months ago. And the Emblem marketplace even goes back before that, even to like a few years of this idea of a multi-chain marketplace. And so we've been building up towards this through these curated collections. And I've stated this many times that to the community, that in order to build a marketplace, curated collections have to exist. Without having an ERC 1155 and ERC 721 collection standards, there's no way for this multi-chain marketplace to exist, right? So the idea here is that it's going to be more than a marketplace. It's also going to be a platform. We're going to have multiple features to this, where the marketplace We'll have all the curated collections that will exist on multiple chains. So like, for example, Rare Pepe curated collection is deployed on Polygon, BNB, and Ethereum, which is the chains that we've deployed on. That will all exist within one collection on one single asset page, and there will be incentives within this. There will be rewards. There will be tokenization. We're going to be listening to the community in terms of thoughts and ideas moving forward. But it is in the process of being built, so it isn't something we're just teasing. It is already done. We've been working on this now for a few months. It is not an easy feat to do of a multi-chain marketplace. Even, we're using possibly we've talked with Reservoir, who does the support for all these blockchains, and we've had multiple calls with them, and so they're giving us their full support, and they're actually going to build some interesting stuff for us so that we can make it happen. So they're very excited that we'll be using their technology. We're very excited that we can bridge proof of work assets and proof of stake assets all in one single place. There's going to be a lot of other features to this as well. It's going to be a place for Emblem Vault to release our own products. And the reason why I say this is that we ran into this issue over the last year since Adam and I have been here. Is we build these products and other projects say, hey, we want this product, can you build it? And then we go build this product, and then they don't ever integrate it. So this will give us an outlet to release all of our new things like private vaults, stealth vaults, time locked vaults, batch minting, bulk minting, native vaulting, all these ideas that we have out there. We can all just embed directly into the marketplace. And again, stay tuned for all of the other offerings. But man, Adam, what are your thoughts, man? I know you've definitely been we'll say the middle ground in terms of the marketplace, and the ideas being, a little bit conservative, and always a good voice, because I generally just want to push forward with everything. How are you feeling about it now that we've at least let this group of people and Pepe Fest know what's happening?
Yeah, I am. I'm super bullish on the fact that we now have a platform to be able to launch new stuff. I'm not, we're not going to be competing against OpenSea. That's not what we're doing here. We are just creating a place where all of our assets can live, all of Emblem Vault assets can live, and then when new stuff pops up, we have a place where people can go to find the new stuff, and so we've already seen it with, whatever, Ethscriptions, right? Certain punks got banned or something like that, but these new integrations, which who knows what the next one's going to be, but the ability to launch that quickly on our own site and not have to worry about anything is just huge. Plus, it's just going to stop the DMs from us. When Marketplace, we've been getting that. We've been getting the Emblem Vault's been getting the When Marketplace for like, a year and a half or 2 years. So it'll be nice to, finally make those guys happy. So that'll be good.
Yeah, it's very exciting. So I pulled up the emblem.markets here on the live stream. As you can see, there's a sign up page, a few different things. The only thing that's required is the Ethereum address. We are asking for email, Twitter handle, and XCP. And the reason why is that it'll help us reach out to you for when we are ready to announce these additional offerings that are unique to Emblem Markets. And then there's a little bit more information. We'll probably keep this up for a little while. Again, go recommend if you want to tweet about it. That would probably help with the publicity about it. But very, very, very exciting times. Marketplaces are making their moves. Emblem Vault is ready to move into the next vision of what we can offer. And don't get me wrong, we have a fuck ton of ideas. So it's all about scaling.
Ideas,
right?
are not the problem. Ideas are never the problem. It's always the execution, right? But I'm actually really psyched with what we've been able to do, as a team and in the year we've been with Emblem. So it's, I think it's awesome. For sure.
Yes. Dogfather, what's on your mind?
Man, that's pretty amazing. I mean, we talked about that plenty of times. So, and it's really cool to see it shipping. In particular, while other marketplaces are kind of like laying off tons of people, shutting down stuff, closing doors, building in the bear. I mean, that's like a prime example. So I think at the end, once the marketplace is there and everything is working, the only thing is like having enough attention and eyes. I mean, that's the next big, I'm not saying hurdle, but challenge, right?
Yeah, we have a few proposals internally of the incentive systems, rewards, memberships, whatever you want to call it, right? Some that can involve CoVol, some that involve NFTs, mix and match, or one or the other. There's a lot of decisions that have to be made, and we have all of them laid out. It's just going to be moving forward. The demand for some of these in the current environment versus the interest and involvement. Pepe migration, I think, will be a good sign to see like where that level of interest is. I mean, over the last 48 hours, we've had over 30 fake rare sales, and we don't even have like a sales bot published yet. So there's definitely a lot of interest there, to say the least.
I mean, just imagine, dude, we now have, or will have probably by the end of tomorrow, one place where, anybody who's looking at rare Pepes can just go and buy shop safely. How awesome is that, man? I mean, this is like literally years in the making, right? Yes. I remember specifically in the middle of 2021, the bull run, when kind of interest in Pepe started picking up, and people were like, dude, why aren't you talking about Pepes? And I'm like, bro, I can't in good conscience send people to Emblem Vault who are just newbies to go get robbed. You know what I mean? Just because of all the fake vaults and stuff. And here we are, where this is going to be, a completely safe place for people to go buy, sell, and trade Pepes. It's awesome, man. It's like a dream. It's a dream come true.
Dream come true. Yeah. We've tackled a lot of those, especially I'm also excited in between the Emblem Markets launch and now we'll also have a new Emblem.finance UI that'll be released, which is also probably 60-70% done. And it's going to be mobile friendly.
What?
Right? The fact that Emblem is
I can control my vaults on my phone? Get out of here, Gallon. You crazy, man.
The crazy part here is Emblem Vault scaled to 15,000 unique owners without a mobile experience. Like how wild is that to think about? That just shows
when people tell you crypto can't get adoption, seriously, like that is massive interest. That just tells you about crypto, how powerful it can be. When that number of people, how bad across the crypto board, the experience is, it shows that there is a tremendous interest. It's tremendous.
Everyone loves the Pepes.
Yeah.
No doubt in my mind. Chris, what you thinking?
Hats off to everyone building the marketplace. And, it's a huge step in the right direction. The cool thing is that there's so much variety with Emblem Vault, and you can vault basically any kind of liquid token, any kind of, digital asset. And so you can have such a massive variety on the Emblem marketplace that's totally different from any other product offering on the market right now. So the combinations are kind of endless. There's so much we can do with it, and super stoked to see it get off the ground. We're definitely making some massive waves. So go check out emblem.markets, sign up. You want to get in early on this. This is going to be a big deal. Super pumped about it.
High key alpha right there. High key alpha. I don't know, Adam, if you noticed that OpenSea has also made some moves recently. They sunsetted their horrific storefront. The creator
horrific.
Yeah, the one that mints NFTs that you don't even own. You know what I'm talking about? They got rid of that. They created a studio. They acquired a company. I forget what the company's name was. And they basically created their own OpenSea studio, which is kind of this like all-encompassing one-stop shop for creating NFTs, managing your collections, and I guess like a few other kind of details. It's supposed to be very user-friendly for no-coders like myself. And here it is. Yeah, so the lazy mintable items, right? The ones that they were censoring back in the day. I don't know if you remember those. They were censoring like Ukrainian IP addresses or Russians or something like that. All kinds of different controversy. And then, of course, you look into the comments and it's just like, give us a fucking token, give us royalties.
OpenSea is down. I mean, I do feel bad for them because, been involved with a lot of different people on their team, and a
Shout
lot of
out
great,
Cardi, you're awesome. If you're listening.
lot of great people over there. Unfortunately, I just think they've made a couple of just horrific mistakes. And I don't know if that was just from, leadership or, direction by committee, but I just look at them and I say, wow, they are in so much trouble. I don't know how much maybe they have a ton of runway and they'll be okay because they'll be able to kind of figure something out over the next 2 years. But boy, this is a zero. Doesn't move the needle. I mean, it feels like everything they're doing now is reactionary and is literally like a year too late. Like just everything seems like they are a year late. You know what it feels like? It feels like when Coinbase launched their NFT market, and it was like, this should have been out 8 months ago. If this was 8 months ago, this might have worked, and it feels like that. It feels like corporate has taken over OpenSea, and they need somebody with spit and vinegar just to come in there and just, shake them by the neck, because they're in real trouble.
It's because they want to IPOs. It's like the whole plan. So they're trying
to IPO if nobody cares about it. I mean, it's just like nobody cares. They are down so bad.
Traditional investors might buy it though. They want exposure to NFTs. This is maybe their way to go through with it. Right. There's also a lot of uncertainty surrounding NFTs, the securities, and all these other options. So I understand, but they've definitely lost the leadership. I don't know, but people are turning on Blur too, honestly, because of the extended farming season 2, and now all those farmers are now farming friend tech and dumping on everyone. So although recently Looks Rare has kind of come back from the grave, and they've made a bunch of different changes.
What do you know? Gambling, bro. Gambling. Who would have thought?
Casino-fi. They said they're not sunsetting the marketplace. They just said that they're diverting attention to on-chain gaming, which really just started with hey, put money in here and spin. But now they've also changed their tokenomics for Looks. They're now initiating 50% of the fees that are earned through this casino product. They're buying back Looks. And so the token value has increased, I think, like 50% or something.
Really?
I mean, it's still down 99%, but right. A 50% move from 3 cents to 6 cents or whatever it is, right? It's like, it was literally like $2 at one point.
So wait, what happens? So all those Looks that when I got my token drop, whenever that was, and I staked my whole supply, should I leave that staked, or do I need to like unstake it now? Am I not getting?
No, you can leave it. So mine are still staked too. I'm still down horrific on these. You just leave those. So they got rid of the trading reward. So before, I think it was if you sold or if you bought NFTs on Looks, you got like a percentage of that 2% back. They basically got rid of that. They moved that to the protocol rewards, and now the fees that are generated from this casino game, 50% of that's going to buying back Looks, 40% is going to team treasury, and 10% going to protocol rewards. So 60% is going back to the community, which is cool, right? 50-60%. That's nuts. And they're moving into, it says their new products are going to focus on-chain gaming. So I think that's something to watch. The other marketplace that's been pretty dead is X2Y2 to see. I know we're in contact with Joe and them from X2Fi. So they've been putting their focus on this like NFT-fi ecosystem, borrowing and lending. I think they're trying to create some other kind of financialized NFT products. This is what happens in bear markets, man. You know how it is when shit's down going south. You either got to decide, do you want to double down on what you're building, or is it time to pivot? It seems like most of these marketplaces are deciding to pivot into something, or at least the kind of secondary ones.
Yeah, I mean, my gut, and we've talked about this offline, is my gut is you don't necessarily, it doesn't really matter what these marketplaces are going to do right now. I think the Looks move was smart because it just focused on something almost outside of crypto. It's just gambling, right? And there is never not people interested in gambling, right? Always people are going to be interested in gambling. So that was smart. But the kind of tinkering on the edges, like with OpenSea and them trying to like roll out new products or this and that, like it's just the market has no appetite because there's no money in the market. So it's almost like they're just. I hope they're not spending much money. Would be my point. Like just to guard your runway, whatever they got to do, they should be guarding their runways. Because it's not going to really make a difference. Like it doesn't matter. Like literally OpenSea could launch the best minting experience of all time right now, have the best in the world. And it would not move the needle at all when it comes to OpenSea revenue because the market doesn't care. Market's dead. You know what I mean? So
it is down pretty bad. In terms of maybe some other interesting product releases that we've seen, this Nike Artifact project was pretty interesting. I know you were kind of interesting in it. Give me a breakdown of what it is.
Well, I mean, I'm just, I think we were talking earlier, when we were talking about Pokemon cards and, talking about baseball cards and all these sort of card things, where you're tying the real world to the digital.
That is hot right now. That is hot.
It's hot. And, people are saying, and I'm of the mind, my brain, obviously, a lot of our brains goes to gaming, and gaming has this great opportunity. But there's so much pushback in gaming. We all know that. But this tie to, in real life items with the digital, it's strong and it works out of the box right now. When you have these trusted third parties, and what Nike's basically doing is they're launching a drop of shoes, whatever the sneaker happens to be, and you buy it and you get a token. And if you want to take, it's just the traditional burn mechanism. You want to get the actual shoe, you burn it, right? But if you don't, you can trade the token, and then the token can swap and trade and all this sort of stuff. You have the full liquidity of an NFT tied to the in real life item. I mean, this is like great use cases. And this is what we were all talking about in 21. Like, and here it is. I mean, they're doing it. Supposedly it's pretty seamless. And here we go, man. This is good stuff.
Yeah. I have a podcast coming out next week with Nicholas, who's the founder of Courtyard, who's been running all of the Pokemon card stuff. And he said that they're doing like 150K a day in volume on their website alone. It was interesting how hit the conversation with him, how he proposed how they built Courtyard. He said that it's a traditional marketplace that runs on crypto rails. So there's no, outside of being able to purchase it in ETH if you want, it doesn't even look like it's a crypto product. It just looks like it's like, oh, we have these Pokemon cards stored in a vault, in the Brinks vault, and you can just kind of buy them. So he's built it out, and it seems like this seems to be the strategy of just having limited amount of crypto information, at least at the front. If you click on the asset, the Pokemon card, then it'll give you details about like token ID number and et cetera, et cetera.
I mean, this is like the dream. Like when in early 21, I was helping a team out. We were trying to do music NFTs, and this was like the dream of doing that. Is basically what they've done now with Courtyard. And back then, like it just wasn't set up. Like you just couldn't get the credit cards, right, and it wasn't online or it wasn't on chain, and it was just really hard. The tech had to kind of get caught up, and it is now. And guys, like if you are thinking about building something, like now's the time. Like literally, I mean, obviously they're already, baseball cards, basketball cards, these are all going to happen, but other kind of collectible things like this, obviously Pokemon's like, it's top tier, number one collectible on earth, maybe. So these guys were really smart to lean into Pokemon. And I couldn't be more bullish. It just makes perfect use of blockchain technology, right? And here it is, man. Here it is.
There's two gamification things I like about this product as well. And before I go into that, when I talked with Nicholas, the founder of Courtyard, I asked why Pokemon cards, and we kind of went through this conversation that he was attempting to mirror what Jeff Bezos did with Amazon. And what Amazon did is he said, hey, what is something that everyone is going to need on the internet and that everyone knows and understands that they'll buy? And so he started with books, but he had this grander vision of, you know, being the everything store. And I think Courtyard is trying to take the same approach where they want to tokenize everything. But they said, what is like a common product that everyone possesses within the crypto space? And of course, Pokemon cards is probably up there, maybe at 1 or maybe a top 5. And it's going exactly to the way that they've envisioned so far, although they've been building this for 2 years, and that to set up the back end is very cost intensive. He said that they have a very large lawyer army that they have to use in terms of
that. I believe the lawyer army is real. I'm sure it's totally. But you think about it, and you think what they're building, and leaning into Pokemon at the start like this too. You know, if they gain real traction, like real world. I mean, look, they already have traction. I think it's mainly crypto related, but if they can really gain in real life traction to, you know, kids pulling Pokemon cards, if they can gain that traction, oh my goodness, you could just see, you know, the Pokemon card company just acquire something, right? Or something. I mean, it's just, there's so many, and of course they could go bigger into other, you know, avenues and other areas, but just the Pokemon marketplace itself, just Pokemon cards it's such a huge thing. I mean,
largest IP brand in the world, more than Disney. I think it's like almost double than what Disney is, because they're across so many different domains. 2 gamification things that you could do with Courtyard that you can't do without a blockchain. One is this idea of getting 1% residual fees when you tokenize it. So if you send in a Charizard, you will get 1%. Excuse me. Oh my God, I'm talking too much. You'll get 1% every time that card trades until that Charizard is burned and that card is redeemed. So if that Charizard is graded at a 10, it sells for $1,000 400 times, you will get 1% of that 1,000 every time until somebody burns it. And then here with their drops, what they did is they opened up a bunch of packs. They took all the rare cards and they tokenized the individual ones and then put it in this like Grails that got away number 3. For $300 for his pack, you get this one randomized ultra rare card. And so then they did it by rarities, like ultra rare, rare, common, whatever. And he said these packs sold out literally in like minutes at $300 a pop. So they are adding a lot.
There's that gambling aspect, which people just love. People just love it, man. I mean, it's just the unpacking. It's just, people love that aspect, man. They're so smart. I got to give this guy props. I got to send him a DM and just be like, bro, this is amazing.
Nicholas Lejeune. And they even have down here at the bottom, they show all the cards that you could possibly win, right? So like increasing that FOMO to it. One thing I'd like to note, and this was actually a question that I had just in general about like tokenized real world assets, is about this like IP infringement. So we went over the case with StockX that got sued by Nike about a year and a half ago, that they were attempting to be like this tokenized reseller of shoes. And they were going to do the same thing that they're doing at Courtyard. They're going to take the shoes, put it in a vault, and then people can trade the NFT as a price exposure. Ultimately, what happened is they put the Nike logo on the image of the shoes and sold it. And what's happening right now in court is this thing that I guess you're not allowed to tamper with any sort of the image or make any changes to the exact image. So the fact that they put the Nike logo on the image of the shoes is showing or is a modification to it, and therefore is IP infringement. So he said for all the Pokemon cards, it has to be exactly of what it is. So if it's inside of a grade 10, it has to have that exact grade 10 packaging on the outside of the image. He's like, we're not allowed to put stars on it. We're not allowed to put flames around it. You can't do anything, because then you're creating a new asset that is using their IP, and that's where you get sued. So he said, using the same exact things, like, they're fine to do. There's no IP infringement. It's just making any sort of tweak to it is where you'll get that lawsuit.
I wonder how much in lawyer fees that cost him to get that answer. Yeah, I can imagine, man.
He said they have an army of lawyers. He literally said that.
I can literally imagine that there were other lawyers who disagreed with that, right? And so he had to make a call, and I think he's good. But yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm really proud of what those guys did, because it is just this, like, we're looking for these good use cases, and this is just a super solid use case, man.
Yeah, it is. You know what else is a good use case, or at least woke up this morning, is the people farming friend tech and the people farming all these social-fi. Social-fi seemed to be a good investment for a while, and then all of a sudden the SIM swapping thing started happening. I don't know. Have you been? Were you following that?
I tell me about the SIM swap thing. I missed that part of it. I
So
saw one guy got rugged for, like, he said 22 ETH or something, but was there other stuff?
So 4 people got SIM swapped on, well, yeah, I think this was yesterday,
Oh, wow.
for about 200 grand. And so what these guys are doing, so with Friend Tech, up until yesterday, you could only sign up using your phone number. There was no email option. So these people were SIM swapping them and then downloading Friend Tech and then just draining their wallets. Well, they would sell everything. And not only would it like crater, that person's portfolio, but it would crater like all of these other like friend tech values because they're on a bonding curve. And so people started running for the door, leaving. And then ultimately the friend tech team, who's been very good at like pushing new products when it's needed, yesterday they pushed out a product where you could switch it from phone number to email. So if you're on friend tech, I highly recommend doing that, because these scammers are actively looking for people with Bored Ape images and trying to SIM swap them.
Crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. Dude.
And now there's a new one on Avalanche. There was like a bunch of them, right? You had the new Bitcoin City one, which was the one that we tested. Yep. There was Post Tech on Arbitrum. I tried. That whole team gave me sketchy vibes, so I sold everything and left. And then there was a new one on Avalanche called Superstars, something like that.
Yeah.
And I believe there was an exploit for $1 million this morning.
No.
I saw a post about it. I got to try to find that tweet again, but somebody was saying to run for the doors because there's like some sort of exploit within the code or something like that.
Oh my God, dude.
But that one seemed to be the one that was getting the most attention.
Yeah, Stars Arena was the one on Avalanche. Stars Arena.
Yeah, here, I'm going to pull that up. But it seemed to be the one that was getting all of the influencers kind of on board. Yeah, the future of social-fi on AVAX. The interesting thing I would like to note about these social-fi platforms is that it's showing me this, like, where the crypto space is going, and it's definitely multi-chain. You're seeing a bunch of users move across different blockchains, Bitcoin, Layer 2 Ethereum, on AVAX. And there's no tribalism that's really being presented of saying like, oh, this is my superior blockchain, which was 100% present about 2 years ago. Totally. But now it's people are just moving across very freely. I think it's a very encouraging sign. Again, right? They're chasing liquidity more than they're chasing kind of anything else.
Yep.
But the fact that social barrier is kind of non-existent now is very bullish for the ecosystem.
Totally. I mean, it is like, you see it and it's like, well, is it the next thing going to be on Tezos, or it's going to be on Avalanche or whatever? Who knows, right? It's just going to take a couple guys literally building in their mom's basement to make the next cool thing that everybody's like, holy shit, this is the cool thing, right? And yeah, it's super exciting that we don't know which blockchain it's going to be on. I mean, Jesus, I don't even know how I'd get on Avalanche. I don't even know what this is. You know what I mean?
I don't think I've ever used Avalanche. Okay, Stars Arena tweeted out 2 hours ago, the exploit's been fixed, but don't get it wrong, we're at war. And then they go on a tirade talking about how they're at war with the exploiters. And
the little guy is under attack. You are under attack.
Yeah,
Your right to platform diversity is under attack. What a great tweet. Oh my God.
That's exactly. Yeah. The malicious actors are trying to spend $5 to drain $1 in TVL from our platform, and goes on to basically say, like, keep using us because we're at war. It's not your bags. It's our bags. Right? It's our bags.
Chris, wait, they're on Avalanche. Is that right? They're on Avalanche.
This is on Avalanche. There was one on Solana. Chris, have you tried out any of these? What are your thoughts on all of the social-fi platforms?
Yeah, they're definitely booming. I think it goes to kind of, what we all know is that, it's easy to be tribal with different blockchains when there's nothing to do but just hold tokens. But really what people want is cool apps. They want to try cool things. Like, when is NFT gaming going to kind of blow up? Well, when fun NFT games actually, present themselves. when is, the next great app going to kind of blow up when it's actually built and it's actually fun to use. And so making money is definitely a factor, but another good thing is just building cool products people want to use. Frenzy was the big one on Solana. It was fun for a minute. Just kind of gave it a little test run. This Avalanche one seems to have some legs on it. It's getting kind of a lot of traction. I think as far as that exploit earlier, I think it wasn't too bad of an exploit. I think that I saw Emil post, the CEO or founder of Avalanche, that it actually cost the exploiters more than it did to steal the incentives. I think they were paying like 5 cents to steal, basically like 3 cents in incentives or something like that. So just kind of a funny little workaround for them. But as far as I know, the exploit was fixed. But it's good to see these apps. Some of these people have been building, in the background for a little bit of time. And, I think we're going to start seeing a lot of these different use cases really kind of go into hyperdrive over the next kind of months and really kind of see the actual use cases that people are going to use blockchain for finally after all these years.
Consumer apps.
I love Fubar's comment there. You see
right? That? Fubar commented on the Stars Arena and said, you took a fully functional base contract and somehow added a new attack vector in your unverified fork. Delete your account and product. You clown show. Oh, God. Gotta love this. One final topic, before we close out today, dude, the SBF trial. We're now on day 3. Have you been following this at all, Adam?
A little bit. Laura Shin is doing like live coverage from it, so I followed a little bit of what she said, but no. Can you give me the TLDR?
Yeah, so they're still going through jury selection, and there's a post here on protos.com. It's called Your Guide to the SBF Trial, starting today, and it goes through the judge, right? It's a 78-year-old judge.
Wow.
It talks about the U.S. government's court, or the DOJ's court case against them, basically saying, that he was aware of all of this. Turns out Sam Tribeco is also a key witness, which everyone was wondering, is he going to be punished, or is he going to get off scot-free? It looks like he's going to be getting off scot-free with a yacht that's paid by customers. The crazy part of this whole story too is his parents' involvement, dude, is much deeper.
Oh yeah, man.
Than anyone had expected. So his father was a tax attorney, right? Or he has 2 Stanford parents that are both educators, professors. His dad does something that's like tax liabilities, how to save taxes. So they're saving money through his dad. He paid his father $1 million. He bought his parents a $16 million house down in the Bahamas and gave them a $10 million gift. Now people are theorizing, and the FTX, the FTX liquidators, I forget his name, John Ray, has filed a lawsuit against SBF parents, saying that the money that they used to pay for his court, or to pay for his lawyer fees, is that $10 million of customer deposits.
Clawback, baby. Claw it all back.
It's gonna be wild.
Parents' money's back. Look, I have no zero in it, but I mean, for the people who lost money, they need to take everything from the parents back. They need to take Kevin O'Leary's money back. Anybody who was, even if you didn't know, dude, this money should be all clawed back, man. It was stolen money.
Stolen money, fraud from the get-go. The fact that Michael Lewis is defending this man through his book, or maybe he's just going on this media tour so that more people buy his book, is also, very probable. There's nothing really to note of now. They're still trying to choose these jurors. They said that it could take another week, but they expect this whole entire court case to be 6 weeks at max. So maybe in another week, we'll have a little bit more information coming out. At this point, I don't even know what to expect. Like, how much more kind of shenanigans can they really present at the end of the day? Over under the Adam here, I'll give you this, and then we'll close it up here. Over under SBF gets more years than Elizabeth Holmes of 11 years.
He'll get more. I think he gets probably 25 years. Yeah.
25?
25 out in 12. Not something like that. I'm guessing. Yeah. But yeah, I think he's going down harder. I think they like, this is a great, they'll get to whoever's running the prosecution, this is one where you get to put the feather in your cap. And we wondered why. It was like, why did it take so long to arrest him? All that sort of stuff. It's like, because they need to get their ducks in a row, you know? And so I'm sure they'll have their ducks in a row. I mean, if he walks, oh Lord, how amazing would that be? It would be entertaining. But I mean, SBF, he will get out. He's not like lifetime in jail. This is not forever for him. And when he gets out, for a fact, this guy's got what, $40-50 million buried somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's zero question. I have no empathy for him at all. Zero.
Lock him up. Lock him up. My guess is 17 years is what.
17. Right. What I say 25. I'm writing it down. Jake 25. 17. Chris, what's your guess, man? Jake's got 17. I got 25. What's the over under right there?
I might as well meet you guys in the middle. Go with some BTC. I'll go 21.
21. All right, man.
Dogfather. Here. What do you think? You take an over under, middle of all of it.
Oh, we lost Dogfather, man.
Yeah. Might have lost him. That's okay. You know, he's tending to the kitties. Well, guys, you know, you heard the alpha, Emblem marketplace, a platform, a true multi-chain experience. Expect more news coming out. The goal, you know, by the end of Q4 to be launched, hopefully much sooner than that. But a lot of things to decide on. The future is multi-chain. Appreciate you guys here. We do this Tuesday through Thursday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time until whenever we end, generally about an hour. Enjoy your weekend. If you're out in Paris, you know, go hang out with some frogs, take some shots for us, and we'll see you on Tuesday.